Yo, what's good everyone, it's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video. Today I'm joined by Will, who is an urban planner. How's it going, Will?
Not too bad. How are you, Oscar?
Going really well, thank you, Will. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a 23-year-old urban planner from Melbourne. I've lived in Melbourne my whole life, come into the city every day for probably like the last 8 years and know the city pretty well, reflected in GeoGuessr.
Very nice. And in today's video, we're gonna be doing a 1 vs 1, seeing if I can beat a city planner at his own city. We're gonna start off with a normal duel. Then if Will is able to beat me, we'll give him 0.1 seconds. And if he still beats me again, we'll add a bunch of other cities to the map. All right, Will, you ready for the first duel?
Sounds good, let's go.
Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get into the first duel here. See how we're able to do against Will. This looks pretty typical to me. We got this dark brick and these cobblestone ditches, both of which are super typical Melbourne. But obviously, we got to be more specific, and he's taking his time. So I feel like we should actually probably try and put the pressure on. I'm noticing with the angle, we're going southwest. And if you look at Melbourne, the CBD, the Central Business District, is southwesterly, whereas the rest of the city is more slightly southeasterly. So we should be around here, I think. I want to go to one of these smaller roads up here, I think. Okay, I'm gonna go for this guess. He's also guessed, so let's see who is closer here.
Where are we gonna be first? Oof. Kensington, North Melbourne. We got the North Melbourne Towers to our southwest. So where are those towers? They're over here. Southwest, in line with the bottom one. Down a lane, unless it's the Carlton Towers. Feels more North Melbourne. Surely North Melbourne. Got the red bricks, which are fairly more common North Melbourne, Kensington area. This one has got me stumped. It needs to be more of an angle. Maybe it is the Carlton, but no, that's outside the municipality. I think we just have to send it. This is probably not going to be correct. But it was the Kensington Towers. Should have known that one.
Okay, so it was another little section of southwesterly roads, and yeah, of course, he is closer. I don't really expect to be able to win this one. Maybe when he's on 0.1 seconds, we can do it. But, okay, this one's a bit different. We've got, like, parkland off to the side here. I feel like this one's going to be much more distinctive him. So we've got to, again, use the angle of the road to hopefully get a close guess. Maybe, like, Gatehouse Road could make sense to me here, the way it bends off to the east. Maybe, like, if we were here. I do quite like that, actually. Because to our west we have nature, and to our east we have houses, so that kind of road would work. Yeah, I guess I'll just go for that. I haven't found anything better.
We've got cricket nets to the west, probably over here. And could this be like the avenue? Possibly up like here. It's before it starts to curve properly, but that maybe it's like here. Yeah, I think it's got to be the avenue, surely. Put him under pressure, see if he knows where it is. And it was the avenue. Very good, just a bit more north, but it's all right. Plenty of damage.
And okay, it was a bit further up here. It was on the avenue near the zoo, and that's going to be 2,700 points. Not a bad guess from us, but not a great one either, to be fair. Next one here, this is cool. Like, we've got barbed wire over the fence here. So I'm feeling like we're near the zoo again here, right? That would make sense, I think. Also, the school children here, I reckon they might be going on an excursion to the zoo. So I think that makes sense. We're going westerly with the zoo to our south, in theory. So I was thinking maybe like this poplar road. Do we see any poplar trees? We don't, so that's a bit concerning, I guess. Maybe like this one. It's a one-way road and we're headed west. I think I like this road right here, right? I'm putting the pressure on this time.
All right, this is definitely the zoo. See if Oscar can remember that. Where the west, facing the west. Ooh, it's coming up to the car parks. So it could be like along here somewhere. It's either here or it's on this side. It's near the car parks. Actually, it's up here because we've got the fence to the south. So it must be up along here. Slightly closer. Very good guesses for both of us.
Okay, we both got the road. He is slightly closer, and that's a 5K from him, not from me. Okay. I'm still happy with that. All right, next one here, we're getting a lot like out near the parklands, I would say. This is a soccer pitch. And I'm looking for football-shaped pitches because in most Australian sports, we use ovals, as you can see. Lots of ovals here. I don't know where it's best to go. I'm worried that it's down towards like the Melbourne Cricket Ground and the Rod Laver Arena where they have the Australian Open, but I'm just gonna leave it up here because I don't know.
All right, soccer pitch. This is tough. I think it feels more Kensington area. Not really sure why, but I just got a Kensington vibe. Might just have to... I don't know if there is any synthetic ones though in this area. Can't imagine them being in Carlton or North Melbourne. There's not many It's not going to be at Arden Street. It has to be here somewhere. Northwest, maybe. Is there like a synthetic pitch in this area? We'll find out. It was just to the northeast of us. Points regardless. Oscar way out east.
And okay, he got the exact place here. It was the JJ Holland Park. That's going to be huge damage. We haven't managed to do a single point yet, but to be fair, my guesses have not been that bad, I think. Okay, next one here, we're in much more of like a, I would say, industrial district here. The angle of the road could be helpful here. It's kind of southwesterly again. Maybe this is like around the port. I feel like this could be around the port, actually. I'm gonna go for that. I've really got no better idea, and the angle of the road is pretty nice for that.
All right, this is down at the docks, down in like Fisherman's Bend area, probably Lorimer Street. You can see the docks out here on the right. Whereabouts? What are we going? West, southwest, possibly here, maybe even a little bit more. Is that to southwest? I think probably up here. We'll just send it, put the pressure on him, see if he knows this part of Melbourne. And he doesn't. We were a little bit more west, but it's good enough.
And okay, it was near the port there. It was on Lorimer Street. We do survive. Our guess is good enough to survive there. But unfortunately for us, the port is pretty big. This is more interesting though. We're now in a residential area again. So clearly in a city here with these like kind of small houses with the chimneys and everything, tin roofs. Very typical, I would say. The angle of the road would lead me to believe we're like kind of out this direction here. And I reckon I'm just going to go for it here. I'm going to guess in Fitzroy. That should be a decent guess, I think. Let's see. Is it enough to survive? I think he knows quite a lot about the residential areas.
We've got the new darker grey bricks, which is probably going to be out in Kensington, North Melbourne area. This potentially could be down this part of Kensington, maybe. Where are we going? We're going south, slightly southwest. Would make sense for this sort of part of Kensington. Could be like this street. Possibly, probably not. But we will send him, put him under pressure, hopefully finish him off. Oh, 5k, lovely. Perfect, GG's. Lovely, flawless victory there. Oscar going way out in the east again. Gotta know Kensington.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was not joking. So that's a 5k right there. And that's going to be it for the first duel. So let's get him in to discuss the rounds. GG, Will.
Thank you.
First one is a win for you. Is there any rounds you want to like highlight here? I mean, the last one was kind of interesting to me. How'd you get the 5k there?
You got this, obviously the newer kind of brick, this colour, the dark ones, not so much found out in Carlton or East Melbourne or South Yarra. Fair bit of heritage in that area, so this is kind of the newer style of brick. You got this structure. The red brick is also very common in Kensington. This larger building, not exactly sure what it is, but I know there's larger old warehouses in Kensington. And then just the orientation of the street. We're going fairly south, like it's on a slight angle, the way the grid works in Melbourne. Obviously the CBD, completely different to everywhere else, but Kensington, North Melbourne, it's a slight southwest, south sort of grid shape. So yeah, I think that was the main way.
Super, super guess. Okay, now we're heading into 0.1 seconds for you. How do you feel about that?
It'll be tough. There'll be some areas that are going to look very similar, especially there's like a freeway nearby or even a patch of grass. Like there's plenty of open space within the municipality. So that may be a challenge figuring out which one it is. But yeah, it should be good. And hopefully it's more 5Ks.
Okay, let's do it. All right, guys, let's jump into 0.1 seconds now. Of course, this time on the channel, it's not me playing 0.1 seconds, so I'm happy about that. But let's see how we go here. First one, I feel like this one's super 5Kable for him because we're right next to a huge train track here. So for me, that's not familiar, but I guess we should be somewhere like this, maybe Dynon Road, something like that.
0.1 seconds. Can we still beat him? Hopefully. Ooh, that looks like Dynon Road. Going east, probably somewhere around here. We'll lock it in and think it is, unless it's down on Docklands, but we can see the city out to the east. So I think Dynon Road should be fairly safe. Probably going to be a tough one, but he gets closer. That is fair play. Well done there. Give him a little GG.
But let's see. Okay, we actually got the right road there. So did he, but luckily I was able to line it up really quick there. That's the first damage we've done as well. 700 points. Will not complain about that. And this time it's going to be pretty obvious. We're right downtown, inside the city center here. Probably in the very, very middle, because this is very built up. But I was just going to mention, I was actually born in Melbourne. Lived here for 4 years when I was a baby, but also have been back many times.
Ooh, a laneway in the city. North, slightly northwest. tough, but did feel like maybe somewhere out in this part of the city. Possibly like Warburton Lane. Lock it in. Maybe not. Definitely somewhere. I think it's out in the western parts of the CBD, but could be wrong. Or no, it was out in the east, out in the Paris end of the city. No flawless victory unlike last time, but we will recover.
And we are closer again here, so a really nice start to this duel, but of course, 0.1 seconds. Also, lanes inside the city are kind of random, so I won't take too much credit for that. We still have to be strong in these later rounds. This one, we have Australian football goals. So that's for our national sport, Australian rules football. We saw a bunch of those ovals like around here.
This one, I think we saw some red brick, so Kensington, most likely. Feel like it could have been out on this park, maybe not. There's not much else, I don't think, unless it was like Arden Street, but we'll lock it in. Nah, we were way off, that is up there. This is not a good start, but plenty of time.
So I think I just want to guess there. I don't know. It could be elsewhere as well. And again, we've pipped him here. That's another 2,000 points. So honestly, a really nice start to this duel, but I feel like the rounds have really been advantageous for us here. Okay, this time we're in some kind of a museum. I think we're gonna really struggle with this one, guys. It's like really old brick, I can tell. Maybe I could see this being inside the university, although it's clearly some kind of a museum because we have an exhibit here, so maybe not actually. I think I would be silly not to go in the Melbourne Museum. Actually, the Immigration Museum, I kind of like that. You probably would put that in like a historical building. I don't think I've ever been here, but I'm gonna try that instead.
Very tough. Inside a building somewhere. Red brick. Seems like a bit too developed for Kensington, but I'm not sure where else it could be. Like, unless it's like in the city somewhere. Kind of like Melbourne Place, which is out on Russell Street, but bricks seem to be a bit of a lighter red. I think we just got to go see. We have absolutely no clue. We'll just lock it in somewhere. No, it's in the shrine. Yeah, no chance with that. Oscar closer, so he's on top here so far.
Okay, it wasn't. It was the Shrine of Remembrance. Okay, that's hard. He's just picked a random place in the middle of the city. Fair enough. We are actually going for the flawless win here, believe it or not. Okay, this one looks pretty distinctive, though. We've got like a very old building here. And to our west, we have parkland of some kind. I'm thinking of guessing over here, but we need a road, because we're clearly on a road right now.
Fairly certain this one is going to be up here, which is, I think it was where the Commonwealth Games village was back in 2006. Not sure if Oscar's going to know where this area is, but I think it could be up here, unless it's down in North Melbourne, but I'll be completely wrong. I think it might be down in North Melbourne. No, it was Gatehouse Drive over in Royal Park. Every time he's just getting closer and closer.
Kind of worried that I'm going in the wrong spot here. Oh man, we were way closer before, but that's more good damage. So, okay guys, I mean, we're kind of cooking here. It's a bit unlucky with the multipliers, but you know, we almost have a 2-to-1 HP advantage right now. So this feels pretty industrial. It does remind me of like the Port Melbourne kind of round we had last time. Northeast east angle with a bend. Like this is pretty findable. It does remind me maybe of this road which we had last time, but I think the bend here is not quite correct. Maybe right here actually. The problem is that's a split road, so it won't be that one. This one, Turner Street. I could see it. We have like a bunch of businesses around. I'm gonna go for that here.
It's gotta be, or can it be? No, none of these streets line up unless it's like here, northeast. We need something more angled, and these ones, it looked more industrial. It had larger warehouses. Not sure. Northeast though. There's no northeast unless we're here. Maybe there, but even that's more east than northeast. It'd be like there. Yeah, major. I'm not too sure about my guess there, but yeah, Lorimer Street. Finally get some damage onto him.
Okay, it was actually on the correct road. I was looking at this bend, but it was actually this bend. So that makes a lot of sense. 2,000 damage back onto us here, but you can see I'm learning. I am learning here, so I think the quality of guesses has been pretty good. This is a very cool location, by the way. I love these alleyway ones. This one, we have a lot of that modern architecture that he was mentioning, which was more so like over this side, right? Like I think the last one was like inside North Melbourne, right? So I think I want to go for that again here, guys. The angle is also correct, so I'm gonna use his own meta against him and guess in a lane here. I don't see many lanes though. This area of town seems to have less lanes than most. You know what? This looks pretty good here. I'm gonna go for that.
again, we have that newer brick, the darker brick, which, well, not too new, but it's newer than what most of the city of Melbourne is. Again, probably in the Kensington area in a laneway. Looking south, slightly southwest, which makes sense. Maybe like one of these smaller streets somewhere. It's very much laneway, probably not the greatest guess. Way out past Flemington.
And okay, it was even further west there. I did use the meta effectively, but yeah, it was further west there. Out towards the river there. Okay, 1.4 times damage. This one's going the distance. We are back near a soccer pitch. I'm gonna say that the last time we had that, I remember the name of it. What was it? Was it this one? The JJ Holland one. I'm gonna go there. We're on southeast and we look south. So I'm gonna say we're on Altona Street. By southeast, this road ends. So I'm gonna say we're right here. I'm gonna be right. But no, we need the oval to be to our south. So it can't be there. Ah, we'll be here. Let's go there. I'm gonna say that is the Children's Cooperative.
Completely missed that. Was not focused. Got absolutely no idea. Not sure what to do now. Probably just go. We got southeast, south. So maybe in the city if we were looking down the street. I don't know. Completely missed it. So this is just complete blind guess. But we'll go somewhere central and hopefully, Oscar with the 5K. That is well done. We need to focus. We need to lock in big time.
And I think if he gets this, then that'll be impressive. But yeah, we've actually managed to do it there. That's 1.4 times damage. That's almost enough. Okay, he needs to clutch it up now. All right, guys, I'm kind of cooking. Okay, next one here. Again, this is like a really advantageous round for us because we know it's going to be the city, but in 0.1 seconds, he's going to struggle. That being said, these are pretty distinctive buildings. They almost look European, you know. Melbourne was a very rich city because of the gold rush 100 and something years ago. So you do get a lot of these like quite cool places.
Alright, that's down the city. That is Flinders Lane. Looking east, northeast. Probably about here, I reckon. Put the pressure on him. Or is this the other end? Oh no, it's, yeah, Collins Street. It could be Little Collins. What is that, 330, so a bit more central. He's done it again. Every time, and that is game. GG.
And is that enough? That probably will be enough, actually. There we go. GG. Wow, we almost go for the flawless there. That was a pretty impressive duel from us. But it's only 1-1. We're going to do the capital cities map next. Let's chat to Will first.
Well done.
We go 1-1 here. I feel like definitely was a lucky seed for me. Like a lot of rounds where it was good to have extra time.
Yeah, definitely. And even just seeing around, being able to see the architecture a bit more would have been helpful. Some of the lane ones, very difficult to guess on 0.1. Like you can't see anything besides like one little brick or one bit of timber. But nah, you did well. Very impressive.
I think like when you have as much GeoGuessr experience as me,
Yeah.
you pick up things quickly if you play a small map and
Yeah.
you like get good at remembering repeats and when the same road shows up as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do think I got a bit lucky. So it's 1-1 now. We're going to switch over to the capital cities map. Now, a lot of the locations in this map I chose, so I'm going to give you a big HP advantage.
Alright,
because there
sounds
will
good.
probably be repeats for me. And let's just see how it goes. See if you recognize some Melbourne locations. I think about 1 in every 6 locations should be in Melbourne.
Alright, sounds good.
Let's do it. All right, guys, the series sits at 1-1, and now we're going to do Australian alleyways. As I said, many of the locations on this map I picked, so we're going to do 6,000 health for me, 20,000 health for Will. Let us see who's going to be the champion here. If we can recognize the cities, he says he's been to most of the capitals, so we'll see. All right, first round here, we got these yellow no parking lines, and they're most commonly seen in Brisbane and Adelaide. And at that point, it's good to check the angle of the road because Adelaide CBD is mostly just north-south, and we can see this one's maybe slightly northeast, so I feel like this definitely fits for Adelaide. In addition to that, I do kind of recognize it. It probably feels like we're looking towards Grenfell Street or something like that to me, so maybe something around here, like Bentham Street or something like that. But it's a smaller lane, so maybe like Post Office Place here. But yeah, I'm gonna make my guess here. Pretty sure this is indeed Adelaide, though I'm not confident on the 5K.
Alleyways and lanes in Australia. Can we beat him? It's 1-1. This is looking very much like Melbourne, but as we know, it could be anywhere. Could be a bit of Melbourne bias in this. Can't see any number plates, which would only probably give away Sydney. Can't see any blue street signs, which would be for Melbourne. Feel like the yellow lines are rarer in Melbourne, but could be completely wrong there. First vibe was Melbourne, so maybe we just go with that. Looking north, just north, so probably not Melbourne, but oh well. It's not going to be Melbourne, but we just send something. No, Adelaide. Yeah, well, from Adelaide, always going to be a tough one. Makes more sense with their grid being more north than Melbourne's.
Well, I'll see. And okay, he's in Melbourne. That's fair enough. Now, where exactly was this? This was further over towards Gawler. This was over towards Peary Street. Okay. Well, it's good. I should recognize my own city, so that was a bit of an advantage. Okay, this one, I chose this location, and I know where it is. It is inside the capital city of Canberra.
All right, this one, I feel like maybe more Sydney. Potentially maybe more Sydney. It's probably going to know from the colour of the car or some random meta like that, but we'll just lock in like a random northwest, yeah. Something like this. All right, this is going to be a lot tougher than we originally thought.
One of the best ways to tell Canberra is this orange dirt that you get a lot of the times on the side of the road. I think they place it there because normally around the city you don't get much orange dirt, but just like on the side of the road they sometimes have it. And yeah, he's in Sydney, so actually a pretty good guess there. We are going to do about 2,000 points of damage there. But look, because of the rules, he still has double our HP, so definitely still room for a comeback here. Next one. Okay, this one, admittedly being an urban planner, probably does not help that much. I don't know where it is either. I could pretty much see anything out of Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, or Perth here. Something about it gave me a Perth vibe, but this building in the background with the kind of pale bricks. So I feel like it is in this kind of latitude. By the way, Perth is actually further north than Sydney, which I mean, it doesn't really look like because the east coast just goes further down. Also, Sydney feels way more tropical, so it is kind of an interesting thing, but I've been procrastinating actually making my guess. He's gone in. I think I want to go Sydney.
Trees definitely feel a bit more southern. This one could be a Melbourne. East, slightly southeast. Is that going to fit somewhere? Could be like a random lane out here in Carlton maybe. Or somewhere else in Melbourne, but I feel like it should be a Melbourne. Unless maybe a bit more north, like something like out here. Put the pressure on him, see if he knows. But this tree does feel more southern. Nah, Adelaide. And he doesn't get it, but we are close. He's gone Sydney. Whereabouts down near Marrickville. Finally get some points on him.
I'm quite worried about the Perth idea here as well. And it was actually Adelaide. Wow. So he's in Melbourne again, and that's going to be his first damage onto us there. Wow, that's a very cool round. I did not recognize that as Adelaide. Okay, this one's another interesting one. A new development. This is kind of modern Australian architecture here. This probably reminds me most of like Adelaide and Perth. And with this like kind of red colored road in the background here in a residential area, it probably reminds me most of Perth, I would say. Also with Perth, it's just an extremely sunny city. You just have so many days of the year where there's just no cloud in the sky. So I feel like I want to go for that guess here. I think it makes sense to me. But yeah, definitely could still be Adelaide, could still be other cities too. Maybe even Canberra possible here.
All right, new estates got the white roofs. Could this be? Surely not a Canberra. White roofs on the new buildings aren't too common in Melbourne. Plenty of people going with the black roof. Think we can see white number plates, so maybe not Sydney. Could be like a Perth, but do we hedge somewhere? Because Perth will be a lot of damage. Does Adelaide have these sort of developments? It was a Perth, and is he 5K'd or pretty much 5K'd that? Should have just gone Perth.
Okay, it was Perth, he went Adelaide. Very reasonable guess, I would say. Was actually almost near the center of the city there. So the HP evens up here, and we're yet to get a Melbourne, but this one's interesting. We're like on some kind of a university campus, and I do not recognize this. Again, a really red road here. I'm wondering if this could be a Melbourne university, actually. That's something fascinating. I think these trees are painted white, which is something you often see in like Soviet countries or Southeast Asia or South America, but yeah, I feel like these trees are actually painted white. What do I want to do? The problem is I feel like this number plate on the Holden back there is yellow, but I didn't really think it looked like Sydney. I'm actually still going to go for Melbourne here. I think it's probably wrong, but yeah, I don't know where this is, so.
Okay, maybe more northern. Feels like these trees here are a bit more tropical. Could this be a Brisbane? Going pretty much straight north. Let's just go with a Brisbane. I think it's got to be, I feel like it's either Brisbane or Sydney. We'll go Brisbane. Let's hope for the best, and he's probably going to pick up on that these trees are looking a bit more tropical, I feel. No, it was Perth. Both of us so far away. Would have been a great one to get. Plenty of damage up for grabs there.
Let's see. And wow, it was actually Perth. So in Western Australia, the old license plates are actually yellow. It does make sense to some extent there. Maybe that's what was going on, but that's a hard one. Ooh, this is fun. Okay, so we have some architecture. I feel like Will could definitely work with this. I'm personally not sure if this is Melbourne, if this is Sydney, or what. I don't think it's Adelaide. I think the bricks are like too red, too vibrant. It also feels a bit too old. Yeah, I would say it's between these two. I would say it's between these two for sure, and I'm leaning towards the Melbourne idea here, I would say. The south-southwest angle is good, so maybe it's even just the suburbs that we were talking about earlier. I think I'm gonna go for that.
Okay, this is some serious red brick. We've got a little Santa. How you going, Santa? Where could this be? Not sure. Looking, could be down in North Melbourne sort of area, but we don't really have this sort of brick laneways in Melbourne, so maybe it's not. Could be a Sydney, slightly south, southwest, maybe like there. Nah, Perth again. Cannot get Perth at all.
Let's see, if I can beat him in his own city, that would be great, but this time it's Perth. Oh my days. He's in Sydney. That was my other idea. I guess he knew it wasn't Melbourne, but at the end of the day, it was Perth. I mean, these locations are hard at the end of the day. This one, though, I feel like feels familiar. These are maybe kind of the townhouses that you get in Adelaide more. I'm not entirely sure about that. South-southwest angle is quite suspicious for Adelaide, to be honest, now that I think of it. Yeah, maybe this is not. Now I'm kind of panicking. Why do we have this angle? Okay, I feel like it's actually not there then, but now I'm very unsure. So maybe this would be Melbourne. South-southwest makes more sense for Melbourne, doesn't it? We have a cactus here as well. It's not out of the question for Melbourne, but it is a bit weird. I think I'm gonna go for it though, guys. With the angle, specifically. Let's give it a go. I don't know, could be Sydney.
All right, can we get a Melbourne? We need a Melbourne. Oh, this could be, this shade of green and these lights, I'm fairly certain that's Melbourne. You've got the red bricks from Kensington. I'm hoping it could be like in the outer suburbs, but hoping it's like a laneway out in Kensington. Although this house does feel rather large, so maybe it's a bit more out to like Footscray sort of area, but again, could be Perth, because at this rate, everything's Perth. South, southwest, so not going to be that one. It's just, can we find something that would match it? Banks Lane. No, down in Williamstown. But we both get Melbourne and we are slightly closer. Lovely part of Melbourne is Williamstown.
Okay, it is actually in Melbourne there, down here towards Williamstown. We're taking a little bit of damage there, but this duel has slowed right down from the beginning. And what? This is a very cool round. Some really old architecture here. We even have a palm tree. We have quite a lot of like tropical vegetation. But the problem is, apart from Hobart, you pretty much get that in every capital city to some extent. We also have like some quite old bricks here. I'm not thinking this is Adelaide. It's possible, but unlikely to me. He's guessed south-southwest angle again. I'm thinking that Melbourne is a good shout here. Possibly Sydney. That would be my two biggest ideas. I'm gonna go Melbourne.
Ooh, this is surely a Brisbane with the palm trees, unless someone's decided to grow palm trees in their house in the southern parts of Australia, but surely not. Let's just go somewhere in Brisbane. Lock it in. Put him under a bit of pressure, and hopefully it is Brisbane. It could be a Darwin, but probably not. No, it's a Sydney, and we are just further away.
And here, he's in Brisbane and it was Sydney. Okay, that makes sense there. 83 damage. I thought maybe because he guessed so quickly that it was going to be Melbourne, but he was just using the tropical vibe there. Okay, fair enough. Ooh, well, this one's pretty obvious to me. We've got southwest of the ocean and it is super tropical. Unless he accidentally goes Brisbane here, this should be a pretty obvious Darwin, which is the smallest capital city in the country.
Okay, this is definitely more tropical. Red soil, reddish soil. And quoting Rainbow, this is just some Darwin grass, so maybe it is just Darwin, wherever the hell Darwin's. There we go. Is this just Darwin grass? It is Darwin grass, but he is closer.
But yeah, I don't even know if I would guess Australia here. This is so very tropical. And yeah, we're going to do a little bit of damage there. Man, the first rounds were so eventful, and now it's just gotten so much harder. This, though, is fascinating. We have some really old architecture. I feel like if I wasn't playing this map, I would think this is Cape Town, just based on this pink building here. But it should either be Melbourne or Sydney, and I'm getting much more of a Sydney vibe here, especially with this yellow brick. That's something you see much more in Sydney than in Melbourne. Yeah, it's like a really old building. We're going to be right by the seaside here, in my opinion, like this kind of area. It also feels like a higher rainfall city, but to be fair, they're both high rainfall cities, Melbourne and Sydney. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm pretty confident here. It could also be Brisbane, to be fair, now that I think of it. But I don't know, we have really old buildings, so I think I prefer Sydney than Brisbane.
Round 10. Ooh, could this be a Hobart? Would be a rogue shout, but it could be a Hobart. Maybe like over here. Northwest though, so maybe not a Hobart. I feel like I've seen this sort of like bricks and colours down in Hobart, but maybe it is just a Sydney. It's too hilly for a Melbourne, unless it's a Sydney, but we'll stick with, and it was Sydney. Should have sent to Sydney, and all right, down to 2K. We need to be closer this one.
Let's see if we come out with the win. Okay, it was Sydney. He goes Hobart. I do understand that guess, but I think with 1.6, oh, it's not enough. Okay. We're still in the game here. A nice guess to be sure, but I feel like this is probably still another location that I actually picked. Okay, this is fascinating. We have this cobblestone that I was talking about at the start of the video. So does that mean we're in Melbourne, would be the question. It's like really interesting architecture here. To be honest, I feel like it's not. These kind of cream painted wooden buildings are really common in Brisbane and Queensland in general. So I'm worried that we're there. I mean, obviously we have a lot of palm trees as well. So if this is Melbourne, that's pretty crazy. I don't know, this is one where I kind of feel like every city apart from like Adelaide and Hobart is possible. I could see it being Perth, I could see it being Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. I don't know, the cobblestone is so Melbourne though. Okay, what's the angle like at like St Kilda? It is actually kind of the right angle on some of these roads. Could it be, man? I'm gonna trust it. I feel like these buildings are lying and the road is gonna be correct. I feel like we're gonna be in these kind of suburbs here with the east-southeast angle.
Okay, and palm trees of some sort. Maybe a Perth. Unless, could this be anywhere else? Could it be, although they are the Melbourne sort of laneways with the blue stones, pavements, but do we do a late switch to Melbourne? I think we might, maybe down like St Kilda way. We'll go another Williamstown, maybe somewhere coastal, I feel. Put the pressure on him and hope it's a Melbourne. Will it be Melbourne? We need to get this closer, and it was Port Melbourne, but we are closer. We will take that slightly. Small points, but it all helps out.
Let's see if I'm right. Okay, it was. That's a clutch guess. I was actually going to go in Queensland there. And it's Port Melbourne. Very nice indeed. Super guess there by Will as well. That was not easy with so many palm trees. And the next one here, this is hard. I mean, we can tell it's not South Australia because we don't have a Stobie pole. Where to go? This could actually even be Hobart, but I'm leaning more towards Melbourne or Sydney. I'm just looking at this pole top in the background now. Could this be Perth? Possible. But I think I'll go Melbourne. I think I'm going to go Melbourne instead. Northeast, maybe like down towards Frankston with the angle. Kind of works in general for Melbourne though. I'm going to go Frankston here.
On to round 12. Okay. Where could this be? Maybe like I've got no idea. If it's Adelaide, he probably knows where exactly it is. Is it going to be in Adelaide? Potentially. We'll send it. No, Perth. None of us can get Perth. This is just a mythical town that no one knows. But we're closer.
All my days, it was actually Perth. Yeah, the pole top in the background was more of a Perth one. There we go. 85 damage, so we're below 5,000 health now. Round 13. I did not think this would go 13 rounds after the first few, but here we are. And this one I know is going to be Melbourne. This black bottom pole here, I don't know what they're used for, but they're super Melbourne. And we're going to be like inner suburbs here somewhere. He might not know pole infrastructure as well as me though, so he may miss this, though I kind of doubt it. Especially with this cobblestone road.
Okay, this is definitely Melbourne. We got the trams, we got the bluestone pavements, we have got red brick. Let's see, hopefully he doesn't get too close because this is where we could get some damage. We're looking northeast, so the road is running a bit more east-west, northeast, could be further. Oh no, down south. But we take it, we are closer. A bit of Melbourne bias coming in there.
And yeah, he got it, of course. Okay, another red road here, and we have license plates. Let's dial in. It looks to be like a blue license plate, I would say. He goes for the quick guess here. I'm actually not sure if I want to go Brisbane or Perth? I'm thinking Perth. Perth makes the most sense here. Not sure about that, but it's a super quick guess. Maybe he knows something I don't.
Round 14, private property, blah, blah, blah. Penalty of up to something. City of Fremantle. Finally, we can get a Perth. We're going to be coming in. We'll just plonk it in here and hope we can get a 5k. Maybe he doesn't read it, but he should. He should be able to pick up that Fremantle is in Perth. And he doesn't. He doesn't get it close enough. Slowly chipping away.
And, oh, Fremantle. He goes for a quick guess there. Did it say Fremantle, or is he just cracked? He might just be cracked. That's 200 points. Okay, and this is Adelaide. Oh, yeah, I know where this is, guys. We're going to go for the quick guess here. This is, like, towards the train station in Adelaide, so right downtown, over here. And we're looking over there east at the, what? Is it? It's not the hospital. I think that's the hospital to our southeast here. So we're like here, maybe on George Street. We're looking at a car park. Maybe we're like there. East, southeast though. Like here. I feel like we're somewhere there anyway. I'm really bad at lining stuff up.
Interesting buildings. Where could we be? Is this a Sydney? Could it be a Sydney or could it be a Melbourne? Can't see any yellow number plates, but they do also have white ones. I think we go Melbourne somewhere down like here. No, Adelaide. And of course, that is it. That is GG. And of course, he's going to know where Adelaide is. Well played, Oscar. Well played.
Oh, and there we go. 400 meters away. He goes Melbourne, actually. He didn't recognize the buildings, of course. A bit of a hometown advantage on that final one there, but that is GG's. We come out with the series win, but I think we can all agree I have thousands of hours on the game. Will does not. Very impressive effort there. Rightio, Will, GG's. Thank you so much for joining me.
That's all good. Well done. 2-1.
Yeah, but well. I think you definitely proved yourself and had some really great guesses in there.
Yeah, I think especially in that one, Perth, it's like about 4 rounds where neither of us could pick up Perth, and he had one of us, it would have been finished a lot earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
But Adelaide knowledge is key, and it's OP.
To be honest, that was pretty I mean, Adelaide doesn't have too many big buildings, so you're just going to know.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you could probably miss one of the huge buildings just because there are so many.
Yeah, very true.
I think Melbourne has some of the most skyscrapers in the world.
Yeah, I think so. We've got stacks of them. I'm not sure exactly what the number of stories for a skyscraper is, but we have plenty of them, that is for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you so much for joining me, Will. Any shout-outs for the end of the video?
Darwin Grass.
Darwin Grass. That's right, guys. All right, thank you all so much for watching the video. Big thanks to Will for coming on. Big thanks to Power for letting us film here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time, and goodbye.